Hi there, Mark Victor Hansen here, and I promised you I would share with you the greatest films that I've seen. And there's one film, maybe more than any other, that is a must-see film for you. And you can go on YouTube, and you can go on YouTube on your computer or at your home TV or in your cell phone and see it. It is a movie that fits all the consciousness, all the awareness that I have. It's a movie done by a guy who helped save me, and he wants to save all of us to a bigger, better, brighter, more abundant, more exciting, more inviting reality than maybe you've ever seen before. It's called Thrive. Thrive. And there's Thrive 1 and Thrive 2. So you get two things to watch. But the man and wife who made this are friends of ours. We are down at a great resort in Costa Rica where it rains all the time. It's sort of amazing. The showers just open up and pour down. But we're at this great resort that does wonderful healing modalities. And we meet with the people there and they say, hey, wait a second. People that do this part of this great resort here in Costa Rica are named Kimberly and Foster Gamble, partial heirs of the Procter Gamble fortune. And we told Kimberly and Foster about you, and they want to talk to you on the phone tomorrow. Now, we're on a vacation and a holiday. I taught a little bit there, got paid to speak, as did Crystal. It was wonderful and very mind-expanding, and people were just terrific. But now suddenly we're invited to talk to them, and we were told the story about who they are, what they did, the movies that they're making. And I said, wow, what a great idea. So we get her on the phone and we have like this hour and a half powwow, and we just instantaneously amalgamated as like long lost lifetime friends, which is what I'm asking you to do. Because when you're thriving, one of the things you want to do is you have to have relationship, the hinge of which never rust, but get deeper, more mellow, more buoyant. And it's because you've rooted the seed. The root creates the fruit of the kind of relationships that you're going to have, that you've been thinking about, that you've been pondering, that you've been enveloping. Anyhow, when we met them, they were making movies, and I'd seen one of their movies. They say, hey, wait a second. We are traveling all over the world doing this, and we're here at our house in Northern California just these 2 days, and it's the 2 days that you're finishing your vacation. Well, I quickly looked at our calendar online and saw that's the only 2 days that we had open before we had to go back and do other things. It was amazing, the synchronicity of, spirit in both of us wanted us to amalgamate, get together, create an assemblage, create a mastermind, create a dream team, work together to become better than each of us were individually because we're on the same path. We had a ancestral destiny to have and create fundamental abundance for the whole planet. So I look at Crystal and we're on a speaker and she says, she's shaking her head, yeah, and I'm shaking my head, okay. So we immediately flew to Northern California. They had us picked up in a brand new, at the time, Tesla was brand new. I think it was the first one we rode in the back of, a luxury Tesla. Get to their house, get through the gate, and it was like we'd known each other our whole lives. Go inside his house, their house, and the first thing you see is he's got geodesic structures everywhere. Now, one of my studies is synergetic energetic geometry. Bucky Fuller said a 9-year-old needs to know this math, and obviously I was a university professor teaching it at the University of Colorado, so I'm ingratiated in this, but he had it, and it was everywhere. It was on his bookshelves, it was in his paintings, it was hanging as modals around his house, on the front of his house, the back side. This guy lives in the same dimensionality that I do, so it was beyond exciting. Well, when we get there, the first thing they did was they had a wonderful place to put our telephone so we couldn't get interrupted. And it was a copper thing, and some of you know why you do that, because we wanted to have private conversations that nobody would know about. And it was just like heavenly for me. So for 2 days, we are there, and they have their own garden where they grow all their own fresh fruits and vegetables. They're on a hilltop. They've got a beautiful pool and a jacuzzi, all of which we enjoyed, the four of us together. And we're just melted into consciousness and awareness that is now available to each and every one of you if you watch this movie Thrive. They tell you everything they've done to meet the 1,000 great thinkers around the world who have innovated the way to create fundamental abundance for the first time ever on the planet. It's not maybe. And some of you have watched my other videos and listened to me talk live and read my books. You know that I say you got to have energy to have water, water to have food, food to have fundamental abundance to take care of our current population on the planet, which is a little over 8 billion, I think. Now, nobody knows for sure because census isn't perfect in Africa and India and China, and those countries have a reason to not tell their full census, and we're not going to go into that right now. But he found it appalling that there was any poverty. And I said, look, we're friends with Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who got a Nobel Prize for creating the wonderful thing called microcredit, microfinance, and Grameen Bank, and take women out of poverty and into prosperity. And Yunus told us the only place poverty exists, should exist, is in a museum. I agree. Kim, Foster, all of us agree. Now, we found out that they were degreed people. I mean, he was precocious as a kid, goes to Princeton, does really well in physics. She did the same thing at Berkeley. Amazing that these two amalgamated, fell in love, and decided to embark on making videos that would transform humanity. Now, Thrive, which I'm going to keep saying, you've got to go watch it immediately. 16 million of us have. And what it does, my whole book's The Chicken Soup of the Soul series, is to expand your perception, expand your thinking, expand your awareness, and amalgamate your mind, body, and soul. And what these guys do is exactly the same thing, except they're showing the video and say, hey, look, there's now fundamental plenty available for the first time. However, there are those who are trying to constrict it, those who are stuck in greed. Now, when I was a student ambassador in India, I became a Mahatma Gandhi scholar, who is the one who taught Dr. Martin Luther King, as you know, nonviolence and all that. And he got India free from the oppression in 1948, the year I was born, of England. Point is, Gandhi's greatest statement, which I said to them, was there's enough for everybody's need, but not enough for anyone's greed. And we have a lot of people out there that have got so much that they just are so acquisitive. They are such in a scarcity consciousness. Now, I teach abundance consciousness, prosperity consciousness, which is awareness that goes from conscious to subconscious to superconscious and brings back all that you need. But if you don't believe in God, and if you don't believe in superconscious, if you don't believe in higher states of being, you say, oh, there's not enough to go around, so I'm going to hoard everything. And that's what the system is goofed up on right now. And they clearly, persuasively, eloquently teach you, share with you how there's enough for everybody and we can fully, functionally, correctly, abundantly, more than you believe or think, thrive. Now, you say, well, you said you'd give an example of how he saved you. So, as you know, my wife and I are hikers. I mean, I've climbed the highest mountain in California, which is Whitney, and in Africa, Kilimanjaro, and Fuji in Japan, and I especially like all of them, but in Peru, Machu Picchu, and then the little one, after you finish 5 days, you go up Huayna Picchu, it's supposed to be the little one, you go 2-inch steps, because they wanted to keep the enemy out. Anyhow, I've done all that, I've climbed the highest mountains. We are all climbing. He says, why don't we go here in the Santa Cruz Mountains? And I said, wow, what a cool idea. I love the redwood forest. I said, I did an 11-day retreat here one time, so I am enamored. Well, it had been raining like crazy, and it was slippery and muddy. Now, I'm used to scree, loose rock that you can slide on, and I did not, because we flew straight from Costa Rica up there to be with him. I didn't really have hiking clothes. I certainly didn't have my sticks, which gives you 4 legs rather than 2. But I thought, we got to hike. This is just too good. I've got my running shoes equivalently, but we'll go. And Chris and Kim took off. And he and I were just so deep in conversation, so wondrously thinking and expanding our own thinking to help absolutely everybody and all of humanity to succeed and become what Bucky used to say, create abundance for 100% of humanity, making them physically, economically, and I'm going to add spiritually abundant. And awareness is the front end of all that. And Foster and I are just going at it. And we're almost to the top of the hill, and we're side by side on a path that's probably big enough for one rather than two. And inadvertently, my left foot, the mountain goes down that way, my left foot starts to catch the mud. It starts to go like this. And I start to slide and go, oh! He was so quick. He was so fast. He's smaller in dimension than me. I'm 250 pounds and he probably weighs 200 at the top, maybe 190, 180. He immediately throws himself around me. And I thought, wow, that's neat. He's going to try to save me. But I was already in motion. My leg was going down that hill. Gravity had already created a suction cup pulling me down. Well, he wraps himself around me and we start rolling down through the mud. Rolling down through the mud. Now remember, the girls were ahead of us. They've been to the top of the mountain. They're going down the other side of the mountain like this. They get down and they're watching and they're going, oh my. The boys are rolling together. It looked to them like we were doing it for fun. This was not fun. This was torpor, terror. I was scared, but it was happening so fast. I thought, I better enjoy this. We're laughing while we're going down. Now, they are walking down this path, and I have no idea the distance because it happened like that, and the time just disappeared because we went into no time and no space, and we're blessing each other and blessing this trip that we're full of gook and mud and leaves and brushes and branches. But what's amazing to me is once we get down there, we're brushing each other off and laughing like crazy. And the girl said, what are you guys doing? I said, it was my fault. My big fat leg got hit in the mud and went boosh. And Foster, in his brilliance and wanting to help everybody and take people and get people to thrive, literally tried to stop me and wrap himself in me, but because I was going, he got to go. Here's what's amazing is I look back at it, we look up, and we had to be within an inch or a quarter inch because the trees don't move. These are old trees. They're some hundreds, some thousands of years old. If either of us had hit our head, moving at that lightning speed, which let's say that was 400 pounds, 450 pounds, it would have crushed us, caused a concussion, killed us. Now, a lot of ways to look at it. Perception. We were in a high state of being. The angels are sourcing us, serving us, so we didn't literally get hurt, right? God is protecting us because there's a bigger use for us. It's like all the death and dying stories, right? The near-death stories, every one of them come back with one thing. 20,000 people, all of them say one thing. Your time is not done. Your job's not done. My job's not done. I guarantee you, Kimberly and Foster and Crystal's jobs are not done. Your job's not done. If you're watching this, your job's not done. Your job is to thrive, but you got to open your mind. The mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. And I'm asking you to watch this movie, Thrive. I'm asking you to watch it with your family, watch it with your kids. I have no vested interest other than they're great friends. He saved my life, and now he wants to help save all of humanity. Get us out of poverty, get us out of lack, get us out of shortage, get us out of war, get us out of disease, all of which is fundamentally available for the first time, and he's showing it in this most of magnificent of movies. That's insightful, it's illuminating, it's revelatory. It will make you better off just watching it. And once you watch it, like the 16 million people up until now that have watched, by the time you watch, it'll be 20, 30, or 50, right? Because it's going like that, right? It's an exponential growth because people know they're here, like we teach in our Ask books, Acts, the bridge from your dreams, your destiny. Every one of you has a destiny. But sometimes you got to watch the right movie that is the spiritual gadfly that wakes you up, electrifies you, makes you full of zeal and enthusiasm so you can go out and accomplish what you didn't know that you could accomplish. This is one of those movies. I said I'd share great movies like Thrive 1 and Thrive 2 with you. I encourage you. I hope you get excited. I hope you go watch it today, and you can write me if you need to at reception@markvictorhansen.com, or you can go thrivemovement.com and get to the gambles. I want, like they do, more for you than you want for yourself. God wants more for you than you want for yourself, but you need to live in principle, and that's what this movie teaches. the fundamental principles of getting out of the wrong thinking into the right thinking, which will have us all ascend, escalate, and make everybody better off and no one worse off. Watch, thrive, if you would, please. Thank you.